Meet us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Google+. Hey guys, this is Phil from undercage.com, and this is Huawei P8. So this is their new flagship. I'm not exactly sure because they've been dropping the names a lot. There was Ascend P6 and Ascend P7, and then this is P8, which seems like it's following the trails of the Ascend series, but there's Ascend Mate, and there's a lot of other things happening there, so I'm not really sure which is flagship or not. But this seems like a very premium device from Huawei. It's priced quite high as well. It's ranging at $500 now. P8 Lite is soon to be launched, or it might have been launched by the time that you watch this video in the American market, and that's a lot cheaper than this. Okay, so it's got a very distinct box design. The packaging looks very new. On top it says Huawei design. It's fun and it's worthy and everything. It's I've seen this somewhere, most likely from Porsche design with BlackBerry. There's a packaging that you can open on top over here, and what you see on the sideway is the P8 itself. It's a very new thing. I've never seen anything like this. I'm very excited to open a phone like this. Very new. And there's a Huawei plastic over here. You can open that up, and below there is a box that contains reflect over here, as the icon tells. And the box where it has a power plug, the earphones, and the micro USB cable, which is opened through sideways. And on top there's a SIM card removal tool, and below that are charger, micro USB cable, and the earphones, which are in white. Very matching to the color of the phone. So those little details, I'm not sure why Huawei never cared about it when they made such a fancy packaging design. That's a very unexpected thing. The power charger has 1 amp of the output, and the earphone, we got an earphone over here that may have to be called rather an earpod. It's a very earpod likely earphones, and the micro USB cable sits there. Nothing impressive. I hope Huawei had done a little better than this to impress the owners of the P8, but overall the packaging was very impressive. Let's dive right into the phone. The phone has very top-notch specs. It's got a 8-megapixel camera, front-facing camera on top, receiver, and the ambient sensors, and a series of sensors. 5.2 inches of a full HD display. The keys are built in as a soft key. On the right, you got the volume rocker, power key, and 2 trays over here, one for the SIM card and another for another SIM card and the micro SD card slot shared together. On top, you got a earphone jack, secondary microphone, and nothing to the left to the micro USB port on the bottom with 2 speaker grills, which I'm not entirely sure if they're both of the speakers or just like the iPhone swore one of them are the microphones. On back, we got a 13-megapixel camera with the dual LED flash, and this camera has an RGBW sensor filter, whatever, that's supposed to get better lightings and better colors. And it's got a optical image stabilizer built in as well, and the design seems like a mixture of a little bit of iPhone 5 and a little bit of iPhone 6, and a little bit of Xperia on top here. It's a lot of mixtures, but the good thing is Huawei has made their logo a lot smaller than they used to put on the models prior to this, so that's a very good thing. The overall quality seems very good. Overall build quality seems almost perfect. A lot of phones are built in China, and this somehow proves that the Chinese manufacturers has learned a lot by manufacturing for the other companies. It's very well built and very glossy and very premium looking phone indeed. It's a $500 phone, and when you pay $500 for Chinese phones, do you expect this much of a build quality? And here you got it. What I see from here are a lot of phones, but including a Sony Xperia wouldn't be a problem. So Xperia and the P8 over here, the design language, I'm not calling that all skirmish phones are the copycats of the Xperia, but Huawei seems like they've gotten a lot of idea from Sony Xperia, especially the power key on the right side that we had since the Huawei Ascend P7. So that's what you have. Size-wise, it's quite similar to the other phones. These two are both 5.2 inches. If you want to bring a bigger phone, there's Galaxy Note 4, and obviously smaller. And phones like the Galaxy S6 Edge sits between them. And the Asus Zenfone 2, that's a pretty big phone, so it sits right on the order. Okay, so let's get into the initial settings of this guy. So here we have the screen. It's got the Android 5.0 Lollipop with the Huawei Emotion UI. I think it was 3.0 or something. We can allow and agree here. I'm not looking directly at the screen, so you gotta excuse me. It's got a 2 GHz Kirin 930 octa-core processor. It's their proprietary processor. Huawei's been doing a pretty good job at building their own processor. Kirin 920 was not a bad processor at all. Previously, the Kirin processors or their proprietary processors had a great numbers, but in the real life, their performances were not as good as they promised on the spec sheets. But nowadays, since the Kirin 920, they're doing pretty good. And it's got 3 gigs of RAM, 16 gigabytes of storage, which you can expand up to 128 gigabytes through the micro SD card slots. Unfortunately, it doesn't have as much battery as it has its RAMs. It's got 2680 milliamps of battery, which is a lot lower than the Xperia Z3, which has 3100. I forgot about it. 3100 or 3200. Most of the phones at this size has over 3000 milliamps of battery, but Huawei decided to include 2680, so that's a little bit of bummer there. But P8 till now seems like it's a very well built phone for this price. We'll get back with the review for how it performs in the real life, so stay tuned and we'll get back very soon.